Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to go over is the ability bar setup, the inventory setup, and your setup. So your armor gear setup. Okay, gear setup, we'll go for that. Okay, so first off, I've gone for the mage setup, so I will do a different one for each, but this I find to be very appropriate and works very well. Now, unfortunately, I've never actually, although I have meleeed her, I don't do it because I don't have Drygors and because I don't have Soul Split or anything, so I've just got it like this. So if I go over the ability bar setup, so the first one is Rack, followed by Combust, Impact, which is very useful, Chain, which is also very useful, Sonic Wave. Now, I've gone with a normal battle staff here, so if you don't have one and you have a Wand of Treachery or something like that, if you have dual wield, there we go, that's better, then obviously don't use Sonic Wave because you can't use it. Comes up as a melee weapon there, but anyway, I would use this one, which is Concentrated Blast. Also comes up as a melee one. I don't get what that is, but still. So the next one is Wild Magic. That is very, very useful. It's an absolutely brilliant ability. Hits a lot. You'll often find yourself hitting more than 7k with that. Similar to Dual Shot, otherwise in the range thing. Dual Shot. Oh, Snapshot, there you go. I thought it was called Dual Shot, but anyway. So it's similar to that one in the fact that it just double hits, but yeah, very, very, very good hits. The next one, Asphyxiate, absolute beast, destroys QBD. So that's a must, an absolute must on your ability bar setup. Metamorphosis, now this is optional. You can obviously switch this out for other ultimates. For example, if you preferred Omnipower or Tsunami, you could have that one. Equally, if you wanted to switch this out for if you were using a shield and you wanted to switch it out for Rejuvenate or Barricade, then I would recommend doing that. But otherwise, Metamorphosis is a very good ability to use. Next, we have Dalekthay. Reduces the damage they deal by 50%, so it's very, very good. Saves you a lot of food, a lot of HP. Next one is Anticipation. I don't really use this one, but if I find myself just short of an ultimate or just short of Asphyxiate or something, and not all of these are still on a cooldown timer, which can happen, then I just use that one, so it's fine. And Resonance. This only works really if you have a shield, which I'll show you here. And yeah, all you do is you just click it, and the next attack against you will heal you. This can get very useful. Actually, if you time it right, you can deactivate your prayer so that you will get hit twice as much. But if you use Resonance at the same time, you can get healed. So I think there's a clip of me later on doing it and getting healed like 2400 HP, which obviously becomes very useful and reduces your amount you need to eat. And Preparation, I've just got it on there. No real reason why. But obviously, if you did want to use other ones, don't use Reflect. It's a waste because you cannot actually reflect damage at QBD. Rejuvenate, obviously, a must. Immortality, I don't really know what that does, really. But if it's very good, then I'd suggest it. Barricade, if you want to kill her as fast as possible and you just want to tank stuff, then just do that. Okay, so next we come out onto the inventory setup. Now, as you can see, I have an Overload Flask, a Super Anti-Fire Flask, a Dragonfire Shield, Magic Edition, and Wand of Treachery. And that's simply just in case I want a shield switch. If I accidentally forgot to dose up on an anti-fire, then I could do that while I'm waiting. I don't really know, but it does help sometimes. So Overload Flask, obviously not everyone will have these, but you can always switch them out for extremes or even supers, they'll reduce your kill time, but they will still be very, very useful, and I would definitely recommend them. Full Super Restore Flasks, that is if you are pretty much my stats, because you know, I found that turns out to be a really, really good thing to have, and you know, they can save you a lot of time. Obviously, if you have Vampirism, then that's the set out you'd need, but if you have Penance, then you wouldn't need as many, and you probably need more food instead. But yeah, I would definitely recommend bringing Super Restores, as they also do, if you're bringing Super Ceridome and Bruise or something, they also restore your stats. So, yeah, very useful. And next, I've just got Rocktails. So, you know, obviously very simple. Have I actually got a Beast of Burn with me? I don't think I have, but anyway. Yeah, so I've got a lot of Rocktails here. I think that's 20. But, yeah, I will use all of those in 6 kills. But I probably won't use many more than that. But I still take Beast of Burden as well. As for summoning requirements, I would recommend getting 67. But I think it's 53 for the Terror Bird, or 55. 52 even. 52 is probably a minimum. I wouldn't suggest doing it with a Bull Ant. You're better off just taking your normal inventory and banking a bit more. But yeah, obviously if you have 67, get a War Tortoise. Damn it. And if you have 88, then get a Unicorn or something. I don't know how good that is. Apparently it's really good. But anyways. Okay, so there's no real stat requirements for QBD. I mean, you'll be able to kill her, really, no matter what you have. It just depends on what your stats are as to how much food you're going to eat. So I can't really suggest a maximum or a minimum stats, but if I were to suggest a very healthy average, in order to actually kill her, I would suggest 80 ranged or mage, along with probably 75 defense in order to wear Ganodermic, but 70 will do you fine. I know a couple of people that have done it with 1 defense, so it's not really that hard. As for Herblore, you know, you could have 96, but it's, you know, it's not really worth it if you're not going to be doing it that much. So I would say for Herblore, you'd need 85 if you don't have higher stats, but you can do it with just regular anti-fires. Hit points, not really bothered, but I would recommend getting 92 so that Rocktails will heal you 1860. If not, it's no real big deal. You can always just substitute for Shark. Just like I said, you can substitute any of this for equivalent or better. So yeah, now we're going to go on to the range setup. Okay, so for the range setup, I would recommend bringing the Vampirism Aura. Carol's equipment, though you can always substitute for Royal D'hide. As you can see, it's just as effective, but you'll still need a hood replacement. Okay, we'll do. But yeah, I've actually chosen Ganodermic gloves because they give a very slightly higher armor bonus. So yeah, I've just decided to do that. Now, I don't think these actually give a ranged bonus, but an attack bonus. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So as you can see, this is my invent. Just ignore these 3. Just replace those with more Rocktails. So that's still a good invent setup to use. As you can see, it's very, very effective, and I would recommend using it. This is my ability bar. So Piercing Shot, Dazing Shot, Fragmentation Shot, Binding Shot, Rapid Fire, very, very useful. Same as Bombardment and Snapshot. An Incendiary Shot. That is actually a very useful ability to use on the last phase, but I wouldn't recommend using it just like normally. Just use it. I would rather use the thresholds, to be honest. Debilitate, obviously, again, very useful. Anticipation and Freedom. Now, as you can see, I don't actually have a shield for this set out, and the reason why is because I would not recommend using anything less than a Royal Crossbow. Because it's a very, very good crossbow, but all of the other crossbows are crap, except for the Ascension crossbows. But if you have the Ascension crossbows, you'd be too focused on using abilities like Unload and stuff like that to really bother about using anything else. So yeah. So the first thing you do is you stand 1 square to the left of the pillar, and then you drink your Overload and Prayer Renewals and get ready for the fight ahead. As you see, I'm doing that now. And the next thing you want to do is you want to just start working your way through the basic abilities until you start building up to your thresholds and your ultimates, depending on what your tactic is. But I found that this is a good way of doing it. So I've just decided to speed this clip up, but when you finish the first phase, you'll see when the QBD's health goes to 0, all you want to do is click on the pillar and it will glow red. So Unfortunately, I haven't actually slowed that down, but there it is. Okay, so when you see this message down here that says the Queen Black Dragon takes a huge breath, all you want to do is you want to just finish your abilities and prepare to take a step backwards, and then you just run through. So if we have a look, you'll see that I'm waiting for the firewall just to pass over the first artifact before I run through it. That kind of gives me the timings for when it is, so yeah, it gets very, very easy once you know how it's done. So sometimes, obviously, you might make a mistake and you might lag or forget to run through, but you can always recover, so it's just fine. Alternatively, if you don't want to do this, you can always opt just to run through the little gaps in the firewalls, but obviously if you are going for the speed of the kill more than the kill itself, I would recommend either just tanking them or doing the running through trick that I recommended earlier in the video. So once the second phase is over, all you've got to do is run to the back left artifact. I'm just moving my thing now, so it is the southwest artifact. Unfortunately, I actually got a fire wave spawn, so instead of deciding to run through it, I just decided to dodge. Occasionally you will get tortured souls spawned on you, but they're very, very easy to dodge, and I'll come on to that later in the video. So when you finish the third phase, all you want to do is run to the back right artifact, southeast that is, and then you can go and start killing the QBD again. So when the QBD gets very near to dying, I recommend just tanking all hits and going flat out just trying to kill her, because, you know, it will just be very, very easy to get KO'd if you fart about and try and dodge fire waves and stuff, and that's happened to me many, many times. So all you want to do is you just want to hit the last artifact remaining, and yeah, that'll do you. You've killed the QBD. Okay, so the QBD has lots of different special moves. Here they are. Okay, so first up we have the Fire Wave, followed by the Tortured Souls. Then there is the Resistance to Magic thing. And then we have the Time Stopper, which is annoying. And then we have the Resistance to Physical Attacks. And then finally we have the Siphoning Attack. Okay, so I think I already covered how to dodge the fire waves and stuff, so if you want you can always go back and watch that again, but I won't be doing any more coverage on that. Okay, so next we have the Tortured Souls. So when you see this message down here that says the Queen Black Dragon summons several of her captive Tortured Souls, all you want to do is prepare, so I recommend finishing off your abilities. Because Tortured Souls will appear. Now the amount of Tortured Souls you get depends on which wave you're on. Now obviously if you're on wave 1 you will not actually get any Tortured Souls whatsoever. If you're on wave 2 you will get 1, if you're on wave 3 you will get 2, and if you're on the final wave you will get 4. Now dodging the souls themselves is actually very simple. As you will see, the Tortured Soul spawns one square to my left, so all I want to do is click a couple of squares to my left, and the soul will damage himself. Now this also applies to the second phase. As you can see, 2 Tortured Souls have spawned, but if I just take one step to my left or a couple of steps, then I'm able to dodge the souls very, very easily. Now the fourth wave is much harder because, as you will see, there are 4 Tortured Souls and they seem to surround me from all directions. Now it's very, very simple to time it, but you still may get hit by 1 or 2 of them. All you have to do is wait for the little writing to pop up above their heads. This is the same for all the phases actually, I should have said that earlier on. But all you have to do is wait for the writing to pop up against their heads, and then you just move in one of the 3 corners. Now I would recommend moving away from the QBD, but as I'm on the last phase here, I've decided to move towards her, and to be honest it doesn't really matter that much anyway. I mean, they don't really hit that much. Okay, so next we have the resistance to magic. Now all this means is she becomes more resistant to magic. So if you are simply just using magic, then you'll find that you won't hit as high or as often. But if you have range or melee, this is your chance to completely unleash hell. So next we come to my favourite type of thing. Basically this is the resistance to physical attack, but she is more vulnerable to magic. Hooray! So basically, although you'll hit less with melee and range, this is your chance to unleash hell with magic, which is definitely what you want if you're going for a magic setup. Okay, so next we have the time stopper. So as you can see here, they just kind of veer off in one of the corners, and if you read it, it will say "Hurry, quick, kill me" or something like that. Yeah, so all you do is kill it. It's very, very simple. It says, quick, hurry, kill me, so you're just like, okay, and then you just kill it. So that's, I guess, the easiest way of saying it. So here you go, I kill it, and then I got no more trouble from it. So, yeah. And finally, we have the siphoning attack. Now, as you can see, for every 100 that the tortured soul gets siphoned off of, it heals the QBD 200. Now, this could be especially damaging to you if you're on the last phase, you know, you're kind of nearing the end of a trip, you don't really have any food, and you've got all 4 tortured souls spawned. QBD's siphoning off it, she's healing 800 every second, you can't hit that high. So your only option is to either kill it or wait it out and just eat up on your food. You know, that's the only option you have. So yeah, just try and kill them as fast as you can if you do decide to kill them, and if not, then just wait it out. Now the last one. Right, this is almost the end of the guide, okay guys, the pain is almost over. Now you're probably thinking, hang on a second, right, I know, I've been to QBD before, maybe some of you haven't, I don't know. There should be a super anti-fire attack, a super fire attack. Where's that? Where's that? How do I dodge that? Simple truth is, you can't dodge it. The only thing you can do is reduce the damage that you get taken from it. Well, how do you do that? Don't stand in the middle. Simple enough. Don't stand in the middle. The closer you stand to the first artifact, the more you get hit. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Blah, 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 blah.